Hey everyone, the NBA season is over, which means the fun is just beginning when it comes to basketball news. We'll talk about the upcoming NBA draft and some surprising trades before the draft, and maybe tap into a little bit of free agency. We'll see if we'll get to that. And also, back to more college sports nonsense. Can't wait. Hope you guys tune in after the music. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the latest edition of the Sports Ballers Podcast. My name is Eric, and I am joined by Corey and Evan, as always. Evan, you know what I'm going to ask you? You a little tired?
Yes.
Are you a little hungry?
No, I'm very hungry.
Oh, okay, so we're going to get a more cranky Evan on this episode.
More cranky.
Yes, especially as we talk about sports he doesn't care about. But Corey, how are you doing?
I can't complain.
I mean,
I'm doing pretty well. Been, doing my workouts and everything, and
very nice, yeah.
feeling good because of it.
First official show of the summer for us, because summer happened 2 days ago.
Yeah.
So the days are long, and I greatly enjoy it. And unfortunately, the downside of summer is we don't really have that many active sports to talk about. Baseball is going on, but that's a long season. We generally try to not do week by week.
Yeah, we try to do like
on that.
monthly. So like next week or the week after would probably be our next real update on that.
Yeah, so tune in for that if you want to get into some nitty gritty with Major League Baseball. And we are also not particularly soccer aficionados, although I have watched a bizarre amount of these games. So we probably won't be spending too much time on the World Cup either.
We watched a good bit of the Haiti-Brazil match, which did not go Haiti's way. They're officially eliminated from the round of 32, which means we're probably not watching much World Cup in my house going
Evan,
forward.
have you watched any of the soccer?
Not at all.
None of it.
Literally
Not even
zero.
by accident. Cause
No.
I've watched some of it by accident. It's like, there's another soccer game on.
Is it on Fox?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And there's like 4 games on a day, and they're all throughout the day. Like, there's no... They do it right. They don't stack their games on this in the same time slot.
Oh. The only
So,
thing
can't get away from it.
I learned today that next week on the 4th of July in Philadelphia, the United States is playing England.
Yeah.
Is that official?
I think so.
I thought it was a possibility.
Right. Yeah,
But the round
yeah.
of 32 bracket isn't set, so I
yeah.
don't know
I
if
don't know.
that's completely true.
Yeah, because I remember hearing that too, but no, I think Eric's right. I don't think that's set yet.
And
okay.
England has been kind of loafing, so I'm not...
Well, you know the U.S. is loafing.
The U.S. is about to win the group. They already won the group.
Yeah.
Yeah, they won their first 2 matches, as you will. Beat Paraguay 4-1, and then beat Australia 2-0, or it was 2-0. Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
they're playing well. Whatever that's worth,
Nothing.
I'm sure when they play a real team, they'll get stomped, but that's not going to happen for a little bit. There's a lot of optimism that this team could make the quarterfinals, which I think they haven't done since like '94 or something like that.
Oh, okay.
So it's going okay for the Americans in the World Cup.
Yeah, very little is set as far as the round of 32. We know that Germany, the USA, Mexico, and Argentina are in, but beyond that, nothing else is
Okay.
set, and no matchups are in place yet.
Maybe
So-
we'll play England in Philadelphia on July
4th
4th.
of July, yeah.
That would be
And
quite
that'd be
something.
something.
As for
They're
England's
going to win again.
current status, they are leading their group. They are 1-0-1, which I guess 1-1-0 technically is win, draw, loss in soccer.
I don't know.
Yeah,
or care.
the second one's draw. The middle one's
Okay,
a
so
draw.
they're 1-1-0, which that's dumb. The tie always goes last.
There's
what are
a
we
lot of
doing?
stuff about
what are
this
we
sport
doing?
that's dumb.
Are we doing the same thing here that we do with dates outside of the United States? It's month, day, year, not day, month, year. Let's not
Okay, but
do
day,
this.
month, year kind of makes sense because it's the smaller
I don't care.
pieces. For,
It's the
and
4th of
I
July.
don't
Yes.
care.
I like how the only date we took from England was the 4th of July. And that was just to rub it in, I feel like, at that point. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, we've got some basketball news to discuss because, of course, we do. The best time of the NBA season is when there is no basketball. It's when we'll find out who's going to be playing basketball, where, and when later. And what in the world just happened? Was that Chaz Chisholm?
It was somebody.
We are watching the Yankees live here on MLB.TV.
Crash landed across second base.
And his helmet came loose.
Wearing A-Rod's number.
Yes.
There was a sniper up
Too
in
busy
the
looking
lights.
into the outfield.
Oh, he slipped on second
slipped
base.
off of
Oh,
second
my
base.
goodness.
Oh, man.
No.
Sorry, you all can't see this. We're reacting to things that our
Yeah,
audience can't
this is where
see,
we need
so
a visual
let's
medium here. But let's bring it
come
back
back.
to some NBA
Gravity's
news.
undefeated, y'all.
So the biggest news that happened, I think it was announced this morning, but it could have been last night. I don't know.
I think it was last night that I
Giannis,
saw it.
Giannis
Yeah.
Antetokounmpo has finally, mercifully been traded by the Milwaukee Bucks to his preferred destination of the Miami Heat.
Is that right? I know he wanted to leave the Bucks, but I was pretty sure he wanted to join the Brewers because he was adamant he wanted to stay in Milwaukee.
Now Corey's referencing a fake quote from. Is that even on Twitter or was that like Threads or something?
I don't know.
Well, no. Giannis Antetokounmpo is not suiting up for the Brew Crew. He'll be suiting up for the Miami Heat in October. And this trade just made me sad because I want trades that make somebody into a contender, and this didn't do that because Miami does not have enough, even with Giannis in the fold, to win a championship.
Especially when you give up Tyler Hero.
They didn't have enough even if they kept all the guys they got rid of because they just didn't have they didn't have the players. They were a play-in team for like the last 4 years. They haven't been that team since Jimmy Butler was there. And even at the end of Jimmy Butler's tenure there, they weren't that team.
Yeah.
And so I look at this team now. They gave up Tyler Hero. They gave up Jaime Jaquez. They gave up a couple of other role players. And they gave up a couple of picks, right? They gave up this year's first-round pick, the 13th pick, I believe, a couple of firsts in like 2031 and 2033. There's a pick swap in there or something else in like a second rounder like way down the road. But Miami isn't going to have enough shooting.
Yeah,
They don't have the flexibility to actually improve the roster beyond
The only notable player that they retained to pair with Giannis is Bam Adebayo.
Yeah, and they acquired Bobby Portis in the trade as well, and I like Bobby.
Oh,
Portis.
okay.
He's a solid.
I think I missed that detail. So,
But, you know, and
but
yeah.
again, solid bench player.
Yeah.
That's so. Presumably, he's likely going to wind up being in the starting lineup here, but that's not a good thing for your team if he has to start.
Well, and I don't know if he's going to be in the starting lineup because your two, forwards are going to be Giannis and Bam. Like I guess one of them will play center.
Right.
but
That's my assumption is that Bam would play center.
typically Portis plays power forward, so he's going to have to be in the lineup as a small forward, and he's not a small man. So, not that any of these guys are, but Bobby Portis is like 6'10". His position is to be a power forward. So I don't know. They're going to have to figure out what they're going to do with the roster. But again, they're not going to have that much flexibility due to the fact that they've already traded some assets prior to this in constructing their roster. I know Pat Riley's a magician. He finds a way to just kind of get these unheralded individuals to come play. And, but we'll see what happens there. I'm not buying this team as a threat to like the Knicks or to presumably the Boston Celtics, who figure to be back in the mix next year. Or maybe the Pacers come back strong with Tyrese Halliburton's return. I don't see them getting that much better because of this. And from the Milwaukee side of it, I don't really think they got enough to feel good about this. And I think the reason that is because it took forever for them to trade him. Like Giannis should have been gone, if not last offseason, at least at the trade deadline. And for whatever reason, both he and the Bucks just refused to just move on from each other. Like they did the whole Ross and Rachel thing for like 2 years here, and it hurt both of them, I think, because Milwaukee didn't get a high-end player back. And Boston was interested in Giannis, apparently. And Jaylen Brown would have been on the table for them. And Jaylen Brown is an all-NBA level player. That's somebody that at least you have a good player that you can then subsequently potentially move to actually get you a war chest of picks later. Instead, they got picks down the road, but 2031, that's an eternity from now.
Yeah.
And that's just, I don't think anybody's going to be jazzed up over, well, we'll have Miami's first round pick in 5 years. You don't know what Miami's going to look like in 5 years. You don't know what they're going to look like in 7 years when those picks convey. So I just don't see this as I'm looking at one of the 5 or 6 best players in the NBA still in Giannis not being relevant in the playoffs for potentially a 5th straight year. Like the Bucks didn't win a single round in the postseason since 2022. Like it's been 4 years, and now Giannis is going to a team that doesn't get out of the play-in most years anymore. He'll make them better, but he's not going to turn them into something special.
Right.
So the Bucks are in NBA Siberia once again?
Yes, they are, and I guess the one hope for them is that their hometown hero, will actually be able to play free and score a bunch of points, and maybe they could flip him after he averages like 28 on a crummy team. Like that's possible, but because Tyler Hero is from Milwaukee, that's legit. I didn't just make a pun for no reason.
I assumed that was what you were saying.
Yes.
I did not know that, but that's
Tyler
what I
Hero's
assumed from what
area,
you said.
And so yeah.
So another big trade, maybe the Brooklyn Nets got Julius Randle. I'd be curious to get your thoughts on how significant or not
The Brooklyn Nets.
that acquisition is.
Good Lord.
I don't see any situation where I care about Julius Randle going anywhere unless it's a team that was planning to contend and now isn't. Because Randle to me is like we're kind of having to change the definition on who's like a quote unquote championship player. I'm confident he's not that.
Wasn't he the guy from that meme like 10 years ago?
I mean, you're gonna have to be more specific.
Yeah, you're gonna have to be much more specific
lot of
than
memes and
that.
a lot of
But
guys.
Julius Randle was part of the trade that brought Cat to New York,
Yes.
if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, he was on the Knicks, and he
And-
and DiVincenzo went to Minnesota.
And as much as Cat and Ant-Man seemed to get along and play well together during their time in Minnesota, it didn't ever seem like Ant and Julius Randle had even close to that kind of a connection.
Well, that's because Julius Randle's not nearly as good as Karl Anthony Towns, and also plays a game that's sort of the antithesis to what Anthony Edwards wants to do. Because Ant-Man is a guy who wants the ball in his hands, and Julius Randle can only function with the ball in his hands, and he doesn't do it at a level that's actually good, right? Like he's a guy who just beats his head into the wall, and he might get you 20. He might trick people into thinking he's all NBA, but as soon as the playoff series starts, he's going to get exposed. And, that's typically what happens for him. Now he's on a terrible team. I don't know what he's going to do there. Then this is really, really a Timberwolves story because they were desperate to move off him. They didn't get anything back in this trade. They gave up picks to get rid of Julius Randle. And they did it. And it wasn't,
I guess what they're getting is more flexibility as far as their salary cap because
Yes.
they
Like what the Red Sox
Well,
got for Mookie Betts.
because I remember
That's
they who was Io
Dosunmu.
Yeah, they got him from Chicago
Yes.
back in February,
Yep.
and he's now a free agent. But they want to re-sign
They already
him.
have, or they've agreed in principle
Okay.
to extending him. So that was part of the deal was they wanted to free up salary space that Randle took up to get under the second apron, as it were,
Yeah.
and then be able to offer Dosunmu an extension because he's turning into a pretty good NBA player.
Now, the other name in this trade that people have been mentioning is Nick Claxton, and I don't know anything about him, but he is going to Chicago as part of this deal. Is that significant to you?
Claxton's a good rim protecting center, but nothing crazy. And the Bulls are in purgatory. He's just kind of a throw in probably.
Okay.
I wouldn't expect anything groundbreaking to happen because Nick Claxton's playing for the Bulls instead of the Nets. It's fine. He's a good player, but
That doesn't sound like it moves the needle for anybody.
no. Like if he went to a team that was like, oh, we just need a big man to protect the rim, I'd be like, okay, that's a nice move. He's going to the Bulls, so not really the issue there.
Fair. I guess the other big headline would be right here
Right
in DC.
now, yeah,
Your boy,
my boy.
maybe, kind of. I don't know if he's your boy, but we're going to call him your boy for right now. Trae Young signing a near max. It's not a max, not a super max, but a near max contract.
It was about as much money.
Contract.
It was about as much money as he was going to get from other teams had they signed him. The Wizards could offer him the most money because they had his bird rights since they acquired him via trade from the Hawks back in February or whatever that was. This has been a maligned extension by a lot of people, and I get it. Trae Young's not my favorite player in the world, and the Washington Wizards have not exactly earned the trust of anybody ever for the decisions that they make. That all being said is great, but I don't think this is a bad deal. And the reason I don't think it's a bad deal is because I think people got caught up in maligning Trae Young because they feel like he's not a good enough player to lead a team to championship contention. Why does that matter for the Wizards? The Wizards are not trying to win a championship next year or even in 2 or 3 years. They're trying to develop their young players. And the one gaping hole in their lineup that they've had has been point guard. And Trae Young is one of the best pick-and-roll point guards in the NBA. The last season that he actually played, because he was basically injured or sitting out this year due to the tank, he led the league in assists, and he averaged 25 points a game. He's shown an ability to step up in clutch moments. He's got flaws. There's no doubt about it. I don't think Trae Young's ever going to be like a Jalen Brunson, right? Because there's a similarity to how they play with the ball in their hands, but obviously Brunson is a much more resilient scorer because he's got strength and all that stuff that he does, whereas Young's a little bit more sleight of frame. But Young will absolutely be able to play good offense with some of these young players who have never played in a good offense. And I think that matters. And Young's deal ends after the 2029 season, I think. And he has a player option maybe for the following season. Even if he picks that option up, like 4 years from now, AJ Dybantsa, the presumed number 1 pick, will be 23. Alex Sarr will be 25. Trey Johnson will be 24. Basically, every single young player that the Wizards have some optimism for will be in their early or mid-20s. This isn't going to just shut down some contention window that doesn't exist.
Right, and I mean, and Trae Young is still a pretty young guy. He's only 27. He'll be 28 around the time that the season starts. But for a guy who's been in the league since 2018, he's a pretty young guy. But he has, veteran presence. So I guess one question I have for you, with him signing such a big deal and the Wizards having the number 1 pick in this Thursday's draft, is he the kind of player that you want on your team as a mentor to a young player coming into the league?
I mean, I think it's fine. He's never been a bad teammate. Like, I don't think that's an issue for him. And the more interesting thing I'm curious about now is what happens with Anthony Davis, because he is still on this team. And I doubt he's going to sign a 4-year extension. I don't think the Wizards want him to, and I don't think he wants to. But,
a Hall of Famer, according to you.
According to basic logic and reason, yes. He's like a gajillion-time All-Star with a championship, and he's in the top 75. He's going to the Hall of Fame.
Okay. Okay.
Even if the NBA had a selective Hall of Fame, he would be in the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
That's, just nonsense to suggest that Anthony Davis is not worthy of being a Hall of Famer.
I feel like there should be a requirement that you play in at least, 50% of your games.
How about he plays a game? Has he played a game for the Wizards?
Not in the past couple months.
The Wizards haven't played the games.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, the Wizards don't play games in April, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't happen. But, no, Anthony Davis is a Hall of Famer. That's
okay.
End of discussion. He's been, all NBA, 8 times. He's great.
He was great.
Well, yeah, now he's a little older. He's been around since 2012. He's old.
Oh.
It happens.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I don't have a problem with the Trae Young deal. I think it's fine. It's not I'm not like, oh my god, this is such a good move for the Wizards. It's fine. It fills a need. It's fine. We don't need to make more of that.
All right. So, is there anything else as far as transactions we need to talk about, or should we move on to the draft?
We can talk about the draft. Yeah.
Okay. So, speaking of the Wizards having the number 1 overall pick, I've seen reports that they're likely going to be drafting AJ Dybantsa, but I've also seen that Darren Peterson visited the Wizards and refuses to visit with any other teams. So he seems to be lobbying pretty hard to be drafted with the number 1 overall pick. But where do you sit on A, who you think the Wizards will take, and B, who you think the Wizards should take.
I think they will take AJ Dybantsa. I think they should take AJ Dybantsa. And I don't care what Darren Peterson's lobbying is involved with. Ace Bailey tried to lobby to come to the Wizards instead of the Jazz, and the Jazz picked him anyway. So that's not going to work. He's going to go where he goes. There is a little bit of an interesting dynamic here because AJ Dybantsa played at BYU. Mm-hmm. I believe the owner of the Jazz shelled out a ton of money to float his NIL to get him to Brigham Young.
Oh.
They love him there. And they desperately want AJ Dybantsa to be a Jazz.
Okay. So how to be a Jazz. So how desperately do they want him? Would they be willing to give up their number 2 pick and a first rounder in another year?
Or how about Ace Bailey, who was their lottery pick last year that wanted to come to the Wizards?
I have no idea if Ace Bailey was any good this year. Was he good this year?
He showed promise, yeah. He looked like I expected him to look.
Would you want him in place of AJ Dybantsa on the Wizards?
Along with Darren Peterson? Because that would be the deal.
So you're saying their second overall pick plus Ace.
Yes, they swap spots, and I want Ace Bailey, and that's when we can start the conversation.
Okay.
There's nothing lower than that. That's the floor. Because I'm not giving up the number 1 pick for nothing.
Right.
And number 2, screw the Jazz because they laughed in the Wizards' faces when Ace Bailey was trying to maneuver his way to DC, and then they picked him. And they made fun of the Wizards and just had a great time with it. Well, no, how the turntables. So here we are now. And also, I like AJ Dybantsa better. Like I really do. Like I think Peterson's going to be a good player, but I'm a little shaky, and I know that 80% of the stuff the scouts see is maybe 20% of what we see. Like they see stuff behind the scenes. They're not as focused on what happened during the college basketball season. That to them is extra. Their work comes with these workouts and all this other crap that they do, and watching these kids basically since high school. And Peterson did not have a very college year. Like he had his moments, but he was out here load managing at Kansas.
Oh,
that's not what you want. Like, and
didn't Bill Self quit this year? He retired, right?
I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. All I know is that Darren Peterson was sitting out a lot of games and pulling himself out of games for reasons unknown. And that alarms me as someone who is an uneducated fan. I don't like seeing stuff like that. Whereas Dybantsa seems like he really wants it and has shown that at every step of his public life. Yeah,
right. Like the guy who keeps pulling himself out of games sounds like a Wizards player to me.
That's what worries me.
One kind of fun thing about thinking about the Wizards Jazz situation with the first 2 picks. The last game that the Wizards won was a 23-point victory in Utah exactly 3 months ago on Thursday.
Okay.
Just kind of fun.
It's also fun that the Jazz, the first 3 times they pulled the ping pong balls, the Jazz got 2 of them, just not the first one. So sucks for y'all. And you only get 1 pick out of that. They don't let you take the 3rd pick after you've already gotten the 2nd one. So but yeah, I think the Wizards are going to take Dybantsa, and I think it's a smart move. There was some talk, like John Wall said something on a podcast, or he was being interviewed by somebody asking him what he thinks the Wizards could or should do, and he suggested that they would draft Peterson on account of Peterson's a better fit next to Trae Young. But like I just said, Trae Young is not driving the bus, and the decisions are not going to be built around Trae Young's presence. He's not Steph Curry. Right, like we're not building the team around Trae Young. Trae Young's a part of the team as it develops, and then whatever happens next is to be determined. So they're going to draft the best available player.
So coming off of a 65-loss season, realistically, what's the ceiling for the Wizards in either of those 2 scenarios? One, they take AJ Dybantsa. 2, they manage to get Peterson and Bailey
Wait, did you say a 65 loss season?
Yeah, they were 17-65.
Oh
They
my
lost.
God.
They lost their last 10 games.
We lost like 24 out of 25 to close the year out.
They
It was
should be
an impressive
contracted.
tank job. Like it was a full all hands on deck to lose every game. It was ugly.
They went 6-35 on the road.
Oh,
It was rough.
oh my God.
You can see why the weekly whiz didn't last. But so you're asking me what the ceiling for this team is?
Yes,
under those
under
hypotheticals.
either of those two circumstances.
There's a lot to consider just with Anthony Davis, right? If he's there and
Well,
he plays,
playing?
yeah.
Is there a strong possibility that he wouldn't be on the team this upcoming season?
I think there's different possibilities, but I think it's most likely he gets traded at least by the deadline. So I don't know if he's really a part of the plan here. Like he'll play if he's available, but like he's not coming back next year, obviously. So the Wizards will probably view him as, he's Anthony Davis. So he'll be able to fetch some assets in a trade if they move him. But if somehow he plays the whole year and he actually gives the Wizards 60, 65, 70 games, something like that, and Trae Young is healthy, and let's say the Wizards draft Dybantsa number 1, this team could easily win 40 games with those two. I mean, those are two all-stars when they're healthy. Like Anthony Davis and Trae Young, teams with two all-stars on it and good young talent around them, that team's going to win as many games as they lose. But
40 and
42.
40 and 42. No, yeah, 40 and 42 would have put them just outside of the play-in.
Which is weird
By, like,
because
3 games.
Because the East is usually bad and the play-in teams usually win like 30 games.
Yeah.
Like I
You
think
only have to be in the top 2/3 of the conference.
I mean, the Bucks were the first team out of the play-in, and they won 32 games.
Yeah, but they were way behind.
Yes,
like,
it
everybody
was a
else.
big gap.
Yeah, so like I think the Wizards will be in a position this year, no matter what, no matter who plays, they will be in the quote-unquote play-in mix if there was such a thing, barring like ridiculous injury luck or things like that.
So you're saying their ceiling is absolutely below 6th place in the East.
Oh, I can't see them cracking the top 6. Nah, that's too much. With the Knicks, the Celtics, I'm presuming the Pistons are going to be good again. The Cavs
I
are
would
still
imagine
gonna
so.
be
Yeah,
good.
the Cavs should still be good.
Like, the Magic will be fine, I think. The Heat will be better with Giannis, if not a contender. The Pacers should bounce back, hopefully.
Hopefully Tyrese is healthy.
Yeah, and there's enough teams in the East that can make some noise, and the Wizards are just not. This is the first year they're going to be trying to win.
Allegedly.
They've won a combined 50 games the last 3 years.
Oh my God.
I'm not going to sit here and say, well, this year we better make the top 6. Like that's just that's unrealistic. But fun fact about the Pacers that this came up on the lottery selection day. They lost their first round pick because they traded for Ivica Zubac. Do you know who that is?
Nope.
Probably not.
Was he on the Lakers?
He was,
a while
and
ago?
then he was on the Clippers, and he's a pretty good player. The Pacers traded for this man, and they traded their first-round pick, top 4 protected, to the Clippers for him. Well, they got hosed by the lottery and ended up picking 5th, which means they're not picking 5th. The Clippers are. So they don't have a first-round pick, and I have been waiting like 6 weeks to mention this. Their general manager comes out and says, we made that trade because we assumed we were due some luck.
Oops.
Corey, you know how I feel about being due. And this man gave away what would have been a top 5 pick in what's a pretty strong draft because he thought he was due for some luck. Nice.
So, when was this trade made? Like, were
In
they
February.
this year?
Yes, they were in the throes of a tank job. Everybody knew the Pacers were bad. They probably had a worse record than the Wizards when they made that trade.
Oh, this GM needs to be fired.
Yeah, like
Amazing.
especially because again, let me be clear.
Sure, the Mavericks need a GM.
Like, the bottom 4 teams have maybe a 50-50 shot to actually stay in the top 4 picks. Or at least they did with the previous lottery system. That is changing going forward. So he basically gambled a coin flip to lose a first-round pick that was guaranteed to be, at worst, the 6th pick. That was the worst it could be. And he said, flip a coin, we'll see if we're giving it away. I'm like, no, I'm not. In no way would I ever trade a top 6 pick for Zubats. There's no way I would even risk a top 6 pick for Zubats. It was just outrageous. And for him to come out and say that, no, what he needed to come out and say was, we believe in Ivica Zubats as our starting center, and we thought it was worth it to cough up a first-round pick.
Right.
You kiss his ass, you lie. You make something up.
Yeah, at least do us the courtesy of lying to our faces.
Yeah, humor me here. Like, come on. Ridiculous.
All right, so I think the only other question I have for you is Jeremy Woo from ESPN put his mock draft up for both rounds of the draft, but he has Cameron Boozer as the first guy going after Dybantsa and Peterson, third overall to the Grizzlies.
Yep.
Do you think that Cameron Boozer is worthy of a third overall pick? And if he does go third, does he make the Grizzlies better? Like, where do the Grizzlies even fit into the possibility of climbing into play-in contention?
Well, the Grizzlies moved up in the lottery here, so them being the third pick was a little bit fortuitous. It wasn't like they were the third worst team in basketball this year. But they've traded away a lot of good pieces. I don't know what they're doing with John Morant. I don't know what the plan is there, but they traded Jaren Jackson Jr. to Utah during this season. He was really probably their best player because John Morant was so unreliable. They also traded Desmond Bane for a bunch of picks to the Orlando Magic. So they're in a rebuild right now, and Cam Boozer would probably be like the face of the rebuild. He's not going to immediately make them better because rookies don't do that, especially 19-year-old ones.
Yeah.
But Cam Boozer's got, one of the higher floors among rookies. Like, I think he's the least likely to just not pan out. I think he's got real potential to be, I don't know if he'll be like a superstar or anything, but I could see him just being a consistent all-star level player. He's too skilled in the paint. He's too physical to just be denied. He's going to be a damn good player in the league, and the Grizzlies will be lucky to have him.
Is the NBA draft tonight?
No, Thursday.
Oh. Okay.
Why?
I got an alert saying
you excited
NBA
to
draft
watch it?
starts now
You're going to tune in?
Wait, you got an alert saying that
from ESPN.
I'm pretty sure it's on Thursday.
Okay.
Although they did have the draft board up on ESPN, so now I'm kind of sus. I thought it was on Thursday. I'm going to miss it. We have to tune in for the second round to see who gets drafted this time during a Taco Bell.
It is tonight.
Yeah.
It did just start.
Look at that.
Wow, look at that. I
Okay.
thought it was on Thursday.
Then we're probably going to know the first three at least before we wrap up here.
Yeah, and again, tune in for those Quesarito ads to see if Nikola Jokic gets picked again. And then 10 years later, you'll be talking about it on a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, yeah, that's all I had.
Okay.
We'll see what happens. It'll be a fun night.
I don't have anything else on the NBA, so I'll just be kind of tracking that as we move into some other stuff. I'll give control back over to you, Eric. I knew I wasn't going to have a lot to say.
Well,
Evan wasn't going to have a lot to say, so I figured it would work better with...
Yeah, with you asking me stuff, which makes sense. I hope I adequately answered your questions. Not your condescending questions. This isn't the Social Network or whatever smart-ass thing Zuckerberg said in that excellent movie that has aged tremendously.
A movie I have seen.
I know, that's why I referenced it, because there's maybe 5 movies that Evan has seen that I have also seen and am intimately familiar with, so I try to make sure I
watched it once.
But you're familiar with it.
Yes.
You remember
and the Winklevi.
The Winklevi were there, yes. Anyway, we have some other topics to get into, or at least one other topic. A couple weeks ago, we discussed... It's Brandon, right? Brandon Sorsby?
Brendan. I looked that up today.
Same thing. I don't care. Brendan Sorsby and his ongoing legal dispute with the NCAA, and now his ongoing legal dispute seemingly with the National Football League.
Maybe not legal, but a dispute.
It might be legal soon. He might sue them. Good luck.
Yeah, good
luck.
luck.
In fact, he is suing because he's got counsel. He's got Jeffrey Kessler, who is
Please sue the NFL, Brendan. I would love to see you try.
And the thing is, Jeffrey Kessler is like the most notorious, I go after the NFL lawyer. He was the guy that I think all of the Bountygate suspendees hired, and he got them off on that. He got Tom Brady off briefly about deflate Gator or whatever the hell that shit was. Sorry about that. But yeah, and
Shaq were on live.
yes, and he was also the guy that really pushing the PA during the lockout in 2011. That was So he's been that guy. But Bud, you got to have some legal ground to stand on, and you ain't got it this time. Like what do you wanted a special draft just for you? Like that's really what it sounds like.
Yeah, there have been
or something.
There have been two players selected in the supplemental draft over the past decade.
I don't even really know how the supplemental draft works. Like,
I think
who gets to make the picks? Because if there's only a handful of people, it's not like you have 40 available players.
Well, it's like if you make a pick in the supplemental draft, you lose that corresponding pick in next year's draft.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
All right.
So like it's kind of like
So, like,
waivers.
anybody
You can choose to pick
right,
nobody.
Right.
And we're gonna do that for this guy.
This is what's called breaking news in the NFL offseason, right? The supplemental draft.
Yeah. So I think like part of the perp would be like you go through the first round and nobody makes a selection. You go through the second round, nobody makes a selection. So somebody in the third round might be like, okay, we do like this guy. We didn't like him enough to give up a first or second round pick in next year's draft, but we don't want another team to get him in the third. We're willing to sacrifice a third round pick. So you can
so it's basically waivers and whatever pick you're willing to give up for him. Well, anyway, he tried to appeal to the NFL to instate a supplemental draft on, I suppose, his behalf. And
apparently did it like 3 days before the deadline to declare for a supplemental draft.
Well, so he was met with a stunning rebuke from, I forget the man's name, whatever NFL lawyer they had pen his just lengthy and wonderful denial.
Lawrence Ferranzani Jr.
And it was something Italian. It was
glorious. If you have not read it, I encourage you to do so. Tom Pelissero has shared it. Adam Schefter has shared it. Like, it's out there, and it's a beautiful read.
Yeah, it's worth reading an obnoxiously long tweet.
Yes.
Like, whenever I see the paragraphs long tweets, I'm like, But I was like, this was pretty good. It was really excellent. So I don't think he's going to get his way. And it mentioned in the diatribe there that Sorsby has conceded his legal battle with the NCAA, I guess, and in response was trying to become an NFL player.
Which, if that's true, suggests that the injunction is no longer valid that we talked about a couple weeks ago on the show, and that he would not be able to play this fall, which begs the question, if things don't work out for him to be in the supplemental draft for the NFL, will he try to get another injunction? And is he going to find a judge who's willing to grant one after the first one was, given up?
It seems like he's most likely just going to have to
go find a
sit out.
kangaroo court somewhere to get all this stuff done.
He already did that, and he gave it up. So I don't know.
Also, is this guy good at football to even be worth all the trouble?
Some people were yapping, saying stuff like he would have been like right up there contending with Fernando Mendoza for 1-1, which I know is not true. Like,
that's not true.
That's off-season first take.
That's
in
a load
June
of barnacles.
nonsense.
But I have seen some things that suggest that he has potential.
Sure, but
So
he's
does
also
Jamarcus Russell. It was
did Jazz-
unrealized.
Did Jazz get that one? Yep, looks like he did.
Yeah. Yankees take the lead.
After whatever was going on.
Don't trip over second base again, Jazz.
Whatever's
Mind
going on
the bag.
with that super slow dude that tried to score rounding third.
Oh, like he had a piano on his chest.
Was not-
Oh my god,
That dude was not moving.
And
My
the
goodness.
third base coach with the
Why did he
most
send
the
him?
the least chalant send ever. He was like, I guess go.
Not even just nonchalant, the least chalant.
Yeah,
Lacking all
Love it.
chalants.
yeah. Just like if you're gonna send somebody, send them.
Yeah, I need the windmill. Man.
Yes.
Dude with some conviction, man.
Yeah, like Bobby Dickerson waving.
Well, maybe not like
JJ
Bobby
Hardy.
Dickerson because he doesn't. Well, that time he was right,
Yeah.
but Bobby Dickerson was rough sometimes, man.
Oh.
He had some bad. It's better than Manzolino's sends. I will say that Manzolino's sends were terrible.
Manzolino did
Was
a lot
just
of terrible
terrible in
stuff.
general, yeah. But anyway, Sorsby is probably not going to play football this year. We'll see. Like the NFL basically said after they just buried him that he's welcome to try his hand in the 2027 NFL amateur draft next April.
Yep. Welcome to do that.
If he's not gambling on the games.
I mean, even if he is, he's
that's
still
what
allowed
this
to
whole
try to
thing
be
is about.
picked. Yeah.
And presumably he's not going to be playing this year. ABC News published an article that says that by dropping his lawsuit, he's now ineligible again.
Yeah.
So it does end his collegiate career. So the
So
question
we don't
there
have
is,
to talk about him anymore.
Can he gamble and then declare for the NFL
I think
draft
he's
next year?
addicted to gambling.
Well,
so
no,
he
I
better not be gambling.
Well, I hear
On
you on
anything.
that. I agree with you completely. But from an ethical, legal standpoint, would
are two
him
different
gambling now while not actively playing, would that constitute a concern for the NFL under the
Collective bargaining agreement?
the collective bargaining agreement,
Integrity of the
but also the integrity of the game that is referenced in this letter to him?
Well, I think it was pretty clear the NFL was going to have something to say whenever he makes his way into the league. I mean, the NFL suspended Terrell Pryor for breaking NCAA rules regarding gifts because he got some free tats or whatever. Like, that happened because he skirted the NCAA punishment by going to the draft. And so the NFL was like, well, we don't really like that, so we're going to slap you with a 5-game punishment. You think they're going to let this clown get away with this, especially after he's trying to force their hand? Like, if there's one thing I know, Roger Goodell has maybe earned a little bit of a softer touch over the last decade or so.
Especially since he was in that robe during the draft in 2020.
Roger Goodell, I guarantee you, if you try to come at him, he's got the full force of the National Football League behind him, and all 32 owners, or all 31 plus the Packers, ready to kill you, and he will gleefully do so. Okay?
Yeah, you're not.
He's the enforcer.
You're not getting through that shield.
No shot.
You don't disrespect the Shield.
No.
I mean, they don't make $20 billion a year for no reason.
Is that what they're up to? Is it $20 billion now?
I mean, it might as well be.
That's a lot. That was like 15, but that's still still a ton.
Yeah.
It was a record $23 billion
Oh my God!
for the 2024-2025 fiscal year.
Oh boy! All right.
So it's probably even more than that this past season.
Yeah, we just haven't gotten the numbers yet.
Still counting.
$416 million to each of the 32 individual franchises in shared revenue.
Oh my
That's
goodness!
unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's an
poverty in the NFL.
8.9% increase over the year before.
The shared revenue is like almost double the salary cap then.
Not quite. It's like
The salary cap's
like
like
what,
the salary cap is almost 280.
Oh my God, that's gotten way bigger. But
Yeah.
but it's still more than
Growing
the
that
salary
pie.
cap.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
money you just get for existing in the NFL. That's
Yes.
not even the money you make yourself.
Right.
That's yikes.
Yeah.
So tell me again.
Well, there's
you
not
don't
a
wanna
lot
pay
of
that money.
there's not really a lot of money that you make yourself. Like everything goes into the concessions go into the league revenue
but there's
stream.
there's a certain percentage that gets kicked up.
Is there?
Yeah, it's not all of it. It's not
Okay.
completely.
Okay.
like, it's not like that. 416 isn't like every single team gets exactly that, but it is probably at least 60% of it is shared. But anyway, Sorsby, good luck.
Yeah. Like if I'm the XFL, I don't want him in my league either. Right? Like
If I'm him, and it doesn't seem like he's a particularly bright guy, seems like he's particularly entitled, I would do some mea culpas. I would enter some program for gambling addiction, even if it's just to save face. I would start working out and try to get some pro days scheduled at some point. Lobby to do some type of thing, maybe. Like I don't think they're going to let you do it, but playing the Senior Bowl, I don't know.
yeah, the
Do everything you can to say, I've turned a corner, I'm not this person anymore, and I want an honest shot at the NFL if you'll have me. Don't make this like, well, you got to pick me. No, they don't.
No, they don't.
They really, and they don't want to. Like, they could blackball you. They blackballed Colin Kaepernick for protesting during the national anthem.
He played in a Super Bowl.
I'm pretty
and
sure
almost won it.
I'm pretty sure they're gonna
Almost killed me.
They're perfectly happy to blackball a gambling addict who gambled on his own games. Mm-hmm. Pretty sure that's an easy one for the NFL. You're not that important.
I mean, if Pete Rose was betting on his own games and he was banned from baseball, except for that Pete, you're not allowed in the hall commercial. Like,
He wasn't allowed in the hall.
yeah.
He was getting yelled at.
Yeah, you're not allowed in the hall. Like, who is Brendan Sorsby? Like, who do you think you are right now? This is unbelievable. The audacity and, like you said, entitlement.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
It reeks.
yeah,
Sounds like Texas
it's
football.
it's supposed to be a meritocracy.
The Washington Wizards have officially selected
Oh right, I forgot about that.
AJ Dybantsa.
Yes.
Yes.
Is there another AJ that if you had said AJ Green, I would have been upset. No disrespect to him, but I don't think he's really.
I don't think he's got it anymore.
No,
unfortunately.
No, he was great though.
Yes, he was.
That Hail Mary for my fantasy team. And
God.
probably gave Evan a heart attack.
The Ravens did win that game.
They did, yes, they
Barely.
did. But it went to overtime.
It went to overtime, and then the Bengals got the ball with a chance to kick to win, and they were all the way down at our 40-yard line. I think they went for it on fourth down and didn't get it, but that was a mess.
All right, so
Speaking of a mess,
What was that?
Speaking of a mess, the left fielder for the Detroit Tigers. What was that?
That was a terrible effort.
It's looking
Oh my
like
God.
Joe Adele.
I mean, I love it.
Just
Before Volpe comes up with 2 outs, granted Volpe's 2 for 2 today. That's not bad.
start spreading
All
the
right,
news.
so-
Is this the same guy who couldn't? Yes, it is. Riley Green. He runs like a newborn giraffe out there.
Country singer Riley Green.
It's like,
He
I'm
hit a
supposed
home run
to
against
use
us
my
yesterday.
knees and ankles
So
at the
the
same
Wizards
time?
now have Trae Young, Anthony Davis, AJ Dybantsa, plus Bilal Coulibaly and Alex Sarr.
Yeah.
How does that sound to you, Eric?
That sounds like I'd rather have Keyshawn George in there than Bilal Coulibaly, but it sounds pretty good. Like, I'll take it,
Any of these people.
We talking 50 wins?
No, we're not talking 50 wins. The Wizards haven't won 50 games since, 1979? No.
You talking 45 wins?
No.
The Orioles have won 100 games twice.
Are
since then.
we talking NBA Cup?
We'll get at least one more NBA Cup win this year. Because we got our first this year.
This is your first
I was
NBA
at that game.
Cup
That was
win?
against the Hawks.
Oh,
Yes.
my God.
Yes, their first one in 3 years. They got one NBA Cup win. I think we'll get one more next year. Maybe
Okay.
2.
All right.
All right, so we wanted to talk
stuff.
a little bit about this sort of looming, was it Save or Protect College Sports Act that's currently making its way through the Senate. We will see what happens with it. It doesn't seem likely that it's going to actually stick. It's facing some major pushback, and it's got a lot
Yes,
of
but
battles.
so one of the things that is outlined in this act was basically establishing a 5-year window of collegiate competition. So like and that 5-year window either starts when you first step foot on a college campus. So that would include a high schooler who leaves early, a la Marshawn Lloyd, who left DeMatha a semester early to go down to South Carolina to do spring ball and all that. But it would start then, or on your 19th birthday, whichever comes first. The 5-year clock starts. That was part of this. The NCAA passed that earlier this afternoon. So even if this bill does not go through in total, the NCAA is pulling at least that one pretty significant piece out of this legislation and applying it now. So it's not. So you're not going to have 25-year-olds competing in college sports anymore.
Not even
That's-
Brandon Whedon.
Not even
28,
Brandon Whedon.
Brennan Sorsby.
or however old Greg Oden looked.
I think he was actually normal college age. He just looked 45.
Okay.
Which one thing that
Body was 45 too, apparently.
one thing that can have some effect on would be, kids who decide to either do a post-grad year after high school.
A gap year?
Well, not exactly a gap year. A post-grad year, you're going to a school that offers an opportunity to be on
college?
No.
You're in grad school at that university.
No. I'm talking post-grad high school.
So
I'm talking
grade.
a 5th year of high school, 13th grade. So
Okay.
that is a thing
You
where
don't sound like
there are high schools who offer the opportunity for post-grad years. Rashanda's high school, Choate, up in Connecticut.
What?
We had a DeMatha football player a few years ago who was very strongly considering taking a post-grad year to Choate, wound up kind of last minute going to a university instead.
I've never heard of this in my life.
That is a thing. But that would not push your eligibility anymore like it has in the past. Hockey players doing junior hockey for a couple of years before going to college, hoping to improve their game so that they can improve their NHL prospects. This severely limits the benefit of that as well. So I think it's an interesting aspect of this bill and an interesting thing that the NCAA is now implementing. But overall, I like it. I don't think that you should be playing college sports at 25, 26, 27 years old.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
It sounds like the NCAA is trying to get us back to believing that the whole thing is about academics in the first place. Right? Like,
Oh, I mean, good luck with convincing us of that.
Dude, that's never going to happen. Like, we know ball better than that. But,
But some of the other pieces of this legislation, if it does pass, and I'll be curious to see it, if it doesn't, whether the NCAA pulls some tidbits from it, but it would implement transfer limits. So it would basically allow student athletes to transfer one time without losing eligibility, and then require a sit-out period after a second transfer. And I assume that there would be some limited exemptions carved out in that, but I think it would be pretty severely limited. Like, that's a pretty big staple of this legislation. There's also media rights pooling, basically enforcing a revenue cap and prevent above cap spending as far as NIL spending to bring athletes into your university. Which would help to level the playing field at least a little bit. You're probably still going to have something similar to baseball, where you have the Oakland A's and the Tampa Bay Rays who refuse to even come close to half of the spending of the Yankees or the Dodgers or the Mets, who are hilariously still awful. But it would at least limit those big universities with more financial revenue streams to hoard all of the talent.
I mean, these were things that the NCAA should have considered when NIL became inevitable.
Right.
Like,
and so honestly, I don't know whether I would prefer that the NCAA just implement all of this, or whether I prefer for it to actually be legislated.
Well, the problem with the NCAA implementing it is
the NCAA doesn't have teeth anymore.
Yeah, does it withstand legal battles? Because it didn't before.
Which is why having it be more legislative, I think, makes more sense in a lot of ways, because then you don't have to worry about the legal battles. It's already codified.
Sure, but the other side of that is that this is largely, in a lot of ways, meant to curb earning potential for players. Like, this is supposed to take money out of their pocket. That's kind of the idea.
Yeah. I don't like the idea of capping the NIL money really at all. Like, or honestly capping the transfer number, just because kids being able to transfer at any time, like, that's what's allowed for more parity.
I think it's gotten way out of hand, though.
So, like, it makes it so schools like Alabama can't have...
I don't think that it's good for people to just give up on a situation and just immediately. Like, you don't even try to stick it out for the rest of the season. I have a big problem with, parents who allow kids to quit in the middle of a season of a sport that they wanted to try. Like I know that my rule with Riley is going to be if you start a season, you're going to finish that season, and if at the end of the season you still really don't like this, you don't have to play this sport next year. You don't have to do this. You don't have to play this instrument next year. You don't have to do any of these next year. But you went out for this team. You made the team. You went out for this ensemble, and you made the ensemble. Like people are counting on you. You're going to honor that commitment, and then you don't have to do it next year. We can find something else for you to do.
The problem I have with that, though, is the fact that it's always been this way, and it's gotten worse now with NIL, is that, I understand in the middle of a season, sure, that's ridiculous, but the idea of I'm not allowed to leave, or I've got limits on how often I can change opportunities that I'm seeking, but the school doesn't guarantee me that time. Like, if I enroll at a school and I join a team, it's 1 year at a time. It always has been.
Well, so that's another thing that's included in the Protect College Sports Act is that it would make these scholarships, like it would make it a full 4 year,
or at least through their supposed time period where they're supposed to graduate, right?
Yes,
I
believe that's how.
If I'm transferring for whatever reason, I'm a junior, I'm guaranteed 2 years wherever I go.
So, all right. So it would require Division I institutions to provide comprehensive medical coverage, including 5 years of post-eligibility care, guarantee scholarships for up to 10 years, and establish strict independent health and safety standards. So basically, if you get a scholarship and you leave for whatever reason, you would be able to go back to school and have that scholarship.
Well, a lot of schools do that on their own, though. Then that entices players to come to the school and stick around.
So this would standardize it across the board. So because some schools might do that for some sports, but not for other sports, and some schools don't do it at all.
I just worry that, again, college sports and civil rights have butted heads here, and that's how we've gotten here. And all these ideas that I agree would make the sport more palatable, like the constant transferring, I don't think is great, especially on the basketball end, because it's like, I got a new team every year in every single place. There's no, continuity. But at the same time, do I really, in the United States of America, have the right to restrict people from seeking opportunities elsewhere?
Especially if the coaches can leave whenever they want.
Like, there has to be some level of give back there. And I don't know what the solution is, but I'm skeptical about Congress involving themselves this heavily in college sports, especially when, I'm going to say it, the lead sponsor for this bill is Ted Cruz.
Oh, no.
That's a fair criticism.
Call me a skeptic.
This is an unmitigated disaster.
Call me a skeptic and thinking this is not being done
the source.
On the up and up. But
also, but
I do agree that on the surface, some of these ideas I don't really have a problem with.
A lot of the bills coming from that side of the aisle, like they say they're going to save this or that, but do the opposite.
Well, and again, to be fair to this, it's co-sponsored by some Democrat in Washington, so it's not just Ted.
Right, it is a bipartisan bill.
It can be clowns too.
When I see his name at the top, I'm like, I don't know about this. I'm already.
He's on his way to Cancun, probably.
And to be clear, this would not restrict the amount of NIL money that athletes can earn. They can still earn endorsement money and all that. That's separate from money that is actually being given to the athlete by schools. And that's what would be that's what would be capped.
Like that was the part that the NCAA just was like, because they buried their head in the sand, they could have gotten out in front of this and said, okay, this is the regulation. This is because it basically turned into the schools are paying the players, which is kind of what we wanted the whole time.
To an extent, yes.
But it was the Wild Wild West. And
right.
It sounds like part of this is also involving, I did read this, is it allows the players to unionize and collectively bargain.
Good.
They're going to be treated effectively like employees.
Which they should be. They should have always been. Which
turns this into the G League. This turns this into the minor league system for the NFL. Which
sure, yeah.
I'm fine with that. Is the college football viewing audience at large fine with that? Because they've complained about that idea forever. They always wanted this to be about the schools, and it ain't about the schools anymore. It's about the bread.
I mean, it's always been about the money. Like with, what's Maryland doing in the Big Ten with, right? All the tradition and the history and pageantry and stuff.
Y'all signed a lousy TV deal. You're stuck with till 2032. That's
right.
on y'all.
Right.
Y'all messed up.
So Maryland went and got paid.
Yeah, we did.
I thought it was about the schools and tradition and stuff. And Maryland going down to Tobacco Road in February and taking on, North Carolina and Duke and stuff. And Coach Smith and Coach K and all of them. But no, we're gonna go play Minnesota and Iowa and Nebraska.
Yeah.
Right?
Jazz take.
Darren Peterson.
Grizzlies take.
Cam Boozer.
Yep. That's where we're at.
All right. Well, and that's where we're at the end of our show. So I think we've talked about everything. We certainly talked this topic to death, as well as hopefully for the last time, Brendan Sorsby. Let's just leave that in the summertime and not follow it up next week. Hopefully he doesn't have a car accident or something, God forbid, or pull a Georgia football and do some illegal stuff.
Drive double
More
the
illegal
speed
stuff,
limits.
I should say. But anyway, before we get out of here, shout-outs. Evan, what do you got?
It was Father's Day the other day, so shout out to my dad, certainly. Hopefully the 325s find a ninth song in their repertoire to play one for all the dads out there.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't count on that, but
No.
we should do that. Corey.
I don't know that I have any shout-outs.
It's fine.
No.
Also, shout out all the Tigers batters for all looking exactly the same. There's like
have
six
bizarrely
Spencer
been
Torkelsons.
very similar. Yeah, it's odd. All right, so my shout out, in addition to all the dads out there for Father's Day, my shout out is to the softball team Hit for Brains, because they invited me out to play last minute. I got a text message from one of my coworkers around 2:00, and he asked me if I was available to fill in. He asked me, he said, by the way, we wear gray and green. And I was like, well, I've got a green softball shirt. I broke out my 24/7 shirt, and it was great.
24/7?
Yes, with a little bowl of faux in there. It was excellent.
Go to Rockville and go to 475.
Yes, exactly.
I think it's
Not a
pronounced
sponsor.
pho.
It is, but
Okay,
that's the
just
pun.
making sure.
And it was a Vietnamese guy that made the shirt, so
Yes.
it's not me being ignorant. It's him being sort of ignorant. I don't know. But anyway, asked me out to play out of cold storage. I hadn't played softball in 5 years. It had been a long time since
I've been thinking about trying to play some again, but it's hard to find the
so-
time.
Get hurt.
Yeah, so throwing, catching, and running around was all, like getting on a bike. Like, it was easy. Hitting was a little bit of a different story. I was like,
Dear.
Did you actually end up playing? I thought it got rained out.
We played one inning, so I got a couple rips in batting practice, and those were fine. But and the
Okay.
things, like slow pitch softball, I don't know what the strike zone is, and I don't want to be up there waiting forever. So I'm gonna hit the first thing he throws. He threw some crap outside, so I popped it up, and I'm like, all right, well, whatever.
Gonna have to go back to Lakemont Park. And,
Yeah, but
get
I
in the
did say
cage.
I was like, I'm gonna have to get in the cage because hopefully no 70-mile-an-hour cage like at Lakemont Park where that thing was really going 100. That thing was coming in hot, dude.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, that was gas. But anyway, that was fun, and now I'm a permanent member of the team because they need people every week. So they're like, basically, dude, just come out every week. We need people. I was like, all right, I'll be here.
For
So-
brains.
There you go.
and again, I will let you fellas know because I know Corey, you expressed some interest if they need additional people. Because I know it was last minute for you guys too. Obviously, if it was last minute for me, so I understood why people couldn't make it. But it might be a future opportunity to come play some ball. And
Okay.
it's not too far away either. So
Cool.
shout out to Hit for Brains. Appreciate you. Mm-hmm. All right, well, that does it for our show. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be back next week. We'll probably talk some Major League Baseball and maybe recap a little bit of whatever the hell happened with this draft and free agency and, Brendan Sorsby and Antonio Brown and whatever other clowns pop up.
Yes.
In the
Antonio
news.
Brown said some stuff or whatever.
In the
doesn't
meantime,
matter.
yes, he did, but we're not going to talk about that.
No.
In the meantime, you can reach us at thesportsballers@gmail.com if you have any feedback or want us to talk about any other topics because we're starving for them right now. So if you've got something neat, let us know. You can also reach us on Twitter at SportsBallers18. You can get this podcast on YouTube live, or you can get the recorded version on Apple or Spotify. And if there is some other podcatcher that you somehow prefer to use, let us know, and we will do our best to accommodate you. And last but not least, you can follow us individually on Twitter. Corey is at Corey Puffett. I am at Quagmire67. I was an extra enthusiastic from Corey. And Evan is at Evan_Ash13. Thank you guys again for tuning in. We will be back next week with another rousing summer edition of the Sports Ballers podcast. But until then, take it easy.